Alright everyone, welcome to this video. This is a video I took in September 2022. I stayed at this hostel. It has a great co-working spot right in the center of town. And we're just going to take a walk through San Juan del Sur, kind of the main drag, down to the beach, and then back again. Now, San Juan del Sur is in Nicaragua. It's a pretty big tourist destination. It's a coastal town located in the department of Rivas, southwestern Nicaragua. And it's along a crescent-shaped bay along the Pacific Ocean. Population's about 16,000 people, but there's high season and low season. High season being November to, I'd say, maybe March or April, and then low season, April, or rainy season / low season, April to November. It's mostly on tourism, some fishing and real estate development, and a lot of expats from Canada that I've met. So it was a sleepy village until 1851. The gold rush transformed it into a transit hub. I've noticed it's kind of mostly a laid-back backpackers town. A lot of tourists were here. Decent English for the main stores. Usually you'd have one, or the manager or the waiter would be pretty proficient in English, but also practicing Spanish, and speaking Spanish goes a really long way. It's a pretty small town, and everything's within walking distance as a tourist vibe. Pretty safe, easy to travel. There's also all year-round offshore winds, which makes pretty good surf. Most of the surfing, though, is not in this town. I wouldn't really want to swim in this town, all the runoff, especially during rainy season. But there's shuttles that could take you to offshore beaches. There's a good 3 or 4, or even more than that, offshore beaches you can go, and the shuttle will be $5 USD in 2022. Turning on this next street, we're going to head more towards the Pacific Ocean. There's a lot of people walking down around here, lots of vendors, lots of taxi drivers looking for your business. It's a pretty peaceful town, though. As far as prices, I don't typically remember, but it's pretty affordable. It's definitely one of the most affordable countries in my travels, other than Southeast Asia, Vietnam, and Thailand, and the Philippines. But it's pretty affordable. Your dollar will go a long way, and it's about half price of its southern neighbor, Costa Rica. So I remember a beer being maybe $2-3. You can get a meal at the Commodore for maybe $4 or $5. Fancier drinks go up a little bit, but at the time of this recording, it's 2025. It's nearly 3 years, so I honestly can't remember exactly. I don't think we'll see it here, but one of the most recognizable statues is the Christ of the Mercy. It stands 134 feet on a hillside overlooking this entire bay. It's one of the tallest Jesus statues in the world, other than, I believe, one in Brazil. And it's a pretty popular sport fishing spot, so you can catch a lot of sailfish, marlins, wahoos. Definitely a lot of boats that can take you out, and you can go from just boats that the locals use up to big cruisers. This is kind of the second main drag. It's a one-way. You'll see there's a lot of scooters, a lot of UTVs out. Pretty chill, pretty friendly. It's a tropical climate, so there'll be a lot of rain, typically in the afternoon to evening. Sometimes it goes all night, sometimes it clears up. But typically what I've experienced in Central America is the mornings are clear, The clouds start rolling in around noon or so, and then there's some rainfall. This restaurant right to the left here is just a really good courtyard and great avocado toast. I think I had a whole baguette of avocado and toast for at least $7 USD with coffee. There's a mix of kind of hostels, hotels, tour groups, tour guides around here. Casa Marina. You can definitely book off on Airbnb or Booking.com or one of the travel agency sites. What I like to do is maybe book the first week or the first couple days, get a feel for the area, and then walk around and kind of get a feel for where the actual hotspot is. Because when you're in these towns, there's definitely like location is important, but there's also kind of like micro location, sub location. And there's just stuff that you'd never know of, like, oh, well, this looked great on the photos, this looked great on Google Maps, but then there's construction next door. So if you're staying an extended time, I always like to book early, get an actual feel for the area, get that micro location that you're looking for. There's the sign, pretty popular. Got some vendors, some ice cream people. The reason this is low, though, to the ground is it's just really kind of self-conscious about carrying around a video camera. I thought people would just not like it, but no one really cares. So I was just holding this right by my thigh. Future videos, you'll see it a little bit further up. Here along the Malcon, there's a lot of vendors, ceviche, ice cream. It's not super well lit at night, so there is a club all the way at the end called Tijuanis, which is Costa Rican for too nice, which I learned. But they actually have a shuttle that came around and would blast music, and it would pick you up in the center of town, and it would take you back to Tijuana. So it's like a little club shuttle. You could listen to music along the way, bring a beer, I think. Maybe they had beer for sale, but you could probably bring a drink on board and get away with it, honestly. The thing I've found is a lot of rules and regulations in Latin America are inconsistent. You could ask someone the same question, or you can ask this, if you're at an office or so, you can ask the office the same question, and if you get 5 different people, you get 5 different answers, depending on the time of day, who it was. So there's just a lot of inconsistencies, and it can work out in your favor sometimes, or it can be really frustrating. But you just gotta kind of roll with it. It can get frustrating for Canadians, Europeans, United States, estadounidenses. But honestly, that's the life here. You shouldn't change it, you should embrace it, and enjoy it. Because you can take the good with the bad while traveling, and learn from it. So I'm going to keep walking down here, I believe, all the way to the, kind of this is where the marina is. More hotels to the left. And there's like a little park up here, if I remember right, and a little bay. So here's the bay, Pacific Coast. If you see all the way at the top, it's like a little speck. That is the Jesus statue. So yeah, here's the bay. Some people were swimming on it, but honestly, when the rain comes down, it all goes there. From the town to there. All the trash, all the dirt, all the grease, all the oil, everything. No, thank you. Not for me. to where kind of the boat launches are, so there's a boat ramp down there. You do go fishing. That's where you kind of launch out from. There's a pretty big party scene here from what I remember. There's a Sunday Fun Day party every Sunday, and it's just a lot of tourists, and it's basically a pub crawl, a hostel crawl. You just go from hostel to hostel, have parties, DJs, stuff like that. You get a wristband, and it's generally pretty fun time. It's a good way to meet people. When I am in town, I like to go to a pub crawl, meet people at night. It's mostly 99% travelers, 95% travelers. Sometimes they'll have expats there, people that have moved. But it's a good way to meet people at night, get a feel for the area, have some drinks. And then in the mornings, pretty much every city has a walking tour. I like to do that as well. And there's a lot of free walking tours, and you can just tip what you feel is fair, 15, 20 bucks, 10, whatever is good, but usually a couple hours. There's kind of like a little food part kind of thing. I guess I didn't want to go all the way to the marina. There's the other sign. But yeah, it was a great trip. I spent 2 weeks here, flew into Managua, and then took a taxi, which was about an hour, maybe hour and a half even, to here. And actually what would be easier, and I think a lot more people do next time, is flying to Liberia, Costa Rica, and that is about 45 minutes or so. But you gotta go through immigration twice. So you gotta land in Liberia, you gotta land in Costa Rica, go through their immigration, then go to the border, and then go through Nicaraguan immigration. And at the time, 2022, Nicaraguan immigration, they just wanted, for me, for a United States passport holder, citizen, 10 bucks, 10 USD, and it was pretty smooth. They asked me what my name was, what I do for a job. Bienvenidos, 90 days. For Costa Rica, it was largely the same without the $10 tax or the $10 fee, but didn't need a visa. They just asked me name, where I'm staying, how long I'm staying, what do I do for a living, and what they did need a return flight. So that was very important, and they specifically asked for that. So my return flight was from a different airline. So coming up here is the bay, nice horseshoe, nice waves, some boats, some dinghies, what have you here. Not the cleanest. I've seen more pristine places, some chipping on the paint and trash not everywhere, but enough. But yeah, it's not the cleanest, not the most pristine, but it's pretty good. People are having fun. Nice benches, you can listen and watch the waves. You've got street dogs, pretty common in Latin America. They're pretty smart. They know how to cross the road. They know which restaurants feed them. They all look a little much the same. Yeah, I'm gonna take a walk back, go more into the center of town here. People are just hanging. Ceviche. Actually, if you reverse in the direction I'm going now, if you go back and go past the letters, the colorful letters, there is a ceviche spot, and it is delicious all the way at the end. Pescaria, I forget the name, but it's where the big boats bring their catch, and they make ceviche, and they sell out all of them at the time. But you can get a big or a small one, nice bowl or cup of vaso of ceviche. I'll put some links and stuff in the description so you can get some good recommendations, at least that were good in 2022. As far as pricing goes, very affordable. It's probably the more pricier in Nicaragua, but pretty affordable. My private room, private bath with co-working space included and a semi-private chef was about $25 a night. I think it would have been $600 for the month if I stayed there. I probably could have gotten a better deal. Private room, private bath, co-working space all on myself, rooftop. And since I was really the only one there, the person would ask me, hey, what do you want for breakfast tomorrow? I'm like, oh, I want this, or like, I want this. And be like, okay, cool, when is your meeting over? Because I'd have meetings in the morning, and then I'd have a break around 10 o'clock, sometimes 9, depends on the day. And I'd let them know, and I'd have my meetings in the morning, bring breakfast up, and spit out us. I'll put the link where I stayed. I forget the name, but it was really well set up for nomads. Great infrastructure, great high-speed internet. Even had a call room with soundproofing in it. It was like a Selena, but privately owned. Here we've got some more bike rentals, stuff like that. Nice shops, nice restaurants. This is the hostel on my left here that has the shuttles. They can take you to a handful of beaches for surfing, boogie boarding, or just you want to relax. But as you see, this is kind of the lay of the town. Not super high buildings, not super big. Not exactly colonial, but very Central American, I guess. I think Mexico's a little noisier, more music, more street carts or vendors from what I remember, but again, this was low season. Next up, I'm going to be coming up to the park here, like cut. This is kind of more towards the center of the town. There's a mercado in the center to the left, and then the big park and church to the right. It's quite nice, quite quiet. And yeah, dry season November to April, and wet season May to October. So this was middle of September. So the temperature is around 75 to 88 Fahrenheit or 24 to 31 Celsius. It's another street dog. And this town is not only the only thing to do in Nicaragua, obviously. There's another pretty big popular day trip called Granada. It's a more colonial city. And I haven't been, but I would like to go to Ometepe Island. It's like two volcanoes next to each other on an island. And I was mistaken earlier. Managua is about 2 hours, maybe 2.5, 3 to reach this town. Just kind of walking up on the fire parts of town. This is where more of your locals will live. Not a whole ton of activity, but there'll be some cheaper, more affordable hostels, more affordable hotels since you're off the main drag of the beach. And also, if you want, or if you have a bigger group and you want a house that has a view of the entire town, it's typically up these hills. But from what I remember, there's some good coffee shops and breakfast like La Tostaderia. very good one. Opens at 7, and they have your traditional Nicaraguan breakfast, gallo pinto, which is rice, beans, eggs with some cheese, and plantains, which are like a nice sweet plantain. They are delicious. They also have avocado toast, eggs Benedict, more Western. And Simon Says is a nice one. It's kind of artsy, breakfast and lunch cafe. It's got a really cool garden. Lots of plants, unique art pieces. So the atmosphere is really cool. Good smoothies. Now I'll kind of be walking down back to the main strip, back to the street that my hostel's on. But there's a new cerveceria that has some craft beer in the country. It's a good spot to grab a beer, and it's an open air restaurant. I liked the IPA and the Pale Ale. Also, you've got these to the left of me. They're cooking up some grilled chicken. It's delicious. And you can just eat that in the street. Doesn't usually start till 5, 6 or so. This is kind of the main strip where on the left you see the buses pick up, and then on the right is the central market. If you go in there, which I didn't, but if you go in there, there's a lot of food stalls, pomodors, so you can grab a pretty affordable meal for the day. Either breakfast and lunch, and I believe they usually close at 5. But yeah, I'll see a couple people starting to start their food. That lady's cooking something on the grill there. It's kind of very not great drainage. But yeah, I'll see guys on ATVs going through. Motorcycles, ATVs, bikes, walking, it's all good. Take a left here. So this is kind of the main way into town. It's kind of a two-way street, if I remember. It's kind of a diamond building to my right. So on the right side, you'll be going in, and then on the left side, the car should be coming towards me. But that green car did whatever he wants, which is kind of normal. Coming up on the corner here, it's, I believe it was called Uncle Tio's or Uncle Someone. But it's got windows here. I'll remember to post it. But this is kind of like the expat bar hangout. There's always kind of like one or two corner bars, and that's where you congregate. So if you're kind of tired of speaking Spanish, tired of want some familiar English, or just want to meet some expats, immigrants, that's a good place to go. Good, easy place to meet people. The main grocery store is to my left here. There's two ATMs in the back, and I forgot the name of it, but that's kind of where it was. And then we're coming back to my hostel. That's the pharmacy down there. You can see the houses on the hill there, so if you had a bigger group, you can get houses up there that overlooking the town. Or you could also get a house that is closer to the bay, a little bit further away, but closer to the bay. There's some decent-ish pizzerias and Western food, hamburgers, stuff like that. Italian places. I'm not really sure what this lady says. Aliate stupida. If anyone knows, let me know. I think she was talking to someone behind her. Anyhow, you can see how it gets kind of quiet. A lot of motorbikes, rentals, convenience stores, that kind of thing. And we're back.